Hey guys, so it's another Saturday Scribbles with the Zentangles this week. And we're starting off with one called ZINGER. And to me it looks like a little beehive. And you start out with a really small, almost semicircle, or almost full circle, I guess I should say. And then you build off of these little strips until you're in the middle. And once you're in the middle, you start to make the little half circle smaller again. And then at the very tip, you can have like what I like to think of as little bees coming out. And it's just a little cone, pretty straightforward. And you can leave the lines or the stems as straight, or you can curl them like I did in the last one. Just whatever works for you. The next one is called LUV-A or LUV-A. I'm not entirely sure. And it's basically a heart chain. So you start with one heart and then you build off of that, and then you put one in between those, and so on and so forth. I did not do the best at this one. Just so you know, I highly recommend you look into the Great Zentangle book, which is where all of these designs have come from again, because they know how to do it better. But you can add in little details, as always. Shadows, you can have little stems coming out here and there. You can color them, you can shade them. But this would be one that would be fun as a border. Our next pattern is called GRYST, and it looks like wagon wheels. Like, just think either really fancy wagon wheels or a camera shutter. When you start putting in the lines, you connect them to the center circles in a curved way, so you don't come straight out of the center circle. You kind of wrap around the center circle and come off at a little bit of an angle. But I guess think of it as an aperture. And you just keep going with these little lines coming out. And then in the pattern in the book, they put angled lines inside of each of these sections. And I stared at it and could not decide what direction to put the lines in, if they were supposed to be diagonal, horizontal, or vertical lines. And so I tried it different ways with these three. So whatever works for you. Really, you don't even have to put lines. You could totally do polka dots or maybe different colors for each section, like a rainbow. But again, this one's pretty straightforward. Just think wagon wheel, aperture. This next one, I'm not even going to try to pronounce. I have no idea, and I don't want to butcher it completely. And this one is the spider web. And again, it's pretty straightforward. You start out with a curved X and then put a line as straight as you can through it, and then put a curved line going through the center. And then you go in and you do a very as thin as you can, which, as you see, I did not accomplish, and put as thin as you can outline on each side of the lines that you created. And then you'll go in and you'll connect the inner lines with an arch. So be sure you're doing the inner lines and not the outer lines, because you want to keep the outline free of the arches of the coloring. And once you get through there, you're just going to color these stripes in, these arches that you've created, and you can color them in completely, or you can add in highlights in the middle, or you can change it up between each section over which stripes you're going to color. You could even, I would say you could even do some that just have a solid color in them to mix it up a little bit. And then you want to go back when you're done and make sure that you fill in the center. Just put like a little star or something in there so that it sticks out a little bit more as being, this deep spider web. And because I felt like this one was a little hard to see, after this clip, you'll see a very quick clip of me drawing this on a piece of highlight sticky note. And hopefully you'll be able to get a better idea of what it's supposed to look like. And as always, feel free to go through these long sections where I don't speak and listen to some music or listen to some atmospheric sounds, whatever keeps you calm and relaxed. Or you can do that through the whole video and just block me out completely. Whatever brings you joy. Whatever. This design is called laced, and it looks the way that it sounds. So just think of sections of shoelaces coming in and out of the holes. So draw the little lines and then just do a darker line on the edge, a little curved around. And that way it looks like it is a string going through a hole. And you can go in and shade these and make them look super cool, super detailed. This is one of those patterns where you could use it as a border. I think it would be better as a pattern mixed into something else. I don't think it looks quite complete enough to be its own pattern, but it could definitely work well built off of other patterns. The next pattern is called Aqua Fleur, and if you watched my first Zentangle video, then you know what I mean when I say it looks like an amoeba. Just a very formless, squiggly looking kind of shape. And you're going to pick a point on the shape and draw stripes coming out from the point, starting out thinner and getting thicker at the ends. And after you've done that, you're going to outline the stripes that you're going to color just a little bit above the outline of the amoeba shape, because this one is going to look like it has ribbon wrapped around the amoeba shape. And I highly recommend putting in highlights because I think it really made it pop doing the highlighted ribbon look. And of course you can do color, and I also added in some shading on either side of the ribbon. It is not accurate shading, it's just enough to give it a pop. If you do accurate shading, it will of course look more professional. But this was another one where you couldn't really see it all the way, and I didn't want to refilm the whole video. So I just went in with a sticky note again and did a quick redo of it. Alright guys, this is the final Zentangle for today, and it's called Henna Drum, and it's just a cluster of really cool looking flowers that starts off with this as a squiggly line, and then you make curled lines coming out of the squiggly line, and you'll add little darkened half circles and then outline the darkened half circles at the middle part of the curl, and then you'll build the flower petals off of that. And you can have your flower petals close together, or you can have them further apart. They don't have to be this shape. They can look however you want them to look. And in the book, they had the little squiggles coming out, the little flowerless stems. And while it looked cool in the book, in the end, I didn't think it looked that great with mine. But you can decide for yourself how you want to proceed. And this is one of the Zentangles that I did not speed up. Some of them, if you noticed, were sped up quite a bit for the sake of time, but this one was my favorite, and so I wanted the full experience to be had. I think this pattern would be really cool as an embroidery pattern. Now granted, I could be saying that because I haven't done embroidery in a very long time. So if you do embroidery and you're thinking, my gosh, this woman is crazy, well then, I apologize. And there you have it, the finished result of only 20 minutes of peaceful zentangling. I hope that you guys made way better creations than I did. Great job.